At Investiture on Wednesday evening, I spoke about the story of a boarder from Proserpine who graduated in 1981. I apologise to the seniors and boarders who have already heard this one. Michael Peeney, born with cerebral palsy, was the first ever disabled student to be enrolled at Nudgee. Despite the fact his legs were severely impaired, he would climb 38 stairs up and down from his dorm daily. He ran the cross-country on calipers, he umpired cricket games and coached a cricket team. He also coached a rugby team, which required him to be carried down to the furthest flat by fellow seniors. Michael is a signum fidei, a man of integrity and authenticity who personified courage and perseverance. He embodied what it meant to be brave and resilient in the face of adversity. His story is a testament to the camaraderie that connects all those who wear the blue and white, to the unparalleled sense of brotherhood that resides within these gates. The legacy he left will continue to reinforce the belief that anybody who puts on the blue and white is capable of achieving greatness despite disabilities or impediments. Good morning, Mr. Thompson, Archbishop Coleridge, Father Raphael, Reverend Christian Brothers, special guest, members of the CLT, staff, parents, and my fellow Nudgee brothers. Brodie Grogan perfectly summed it up in his Reflections book. There is something extraordinary in the ordinary people who have walked through the gates of Nudgee. Michael was an ordinary student, the son of a cane farmer, a boarder just like many of us, a boy who was given the gift of a Nudgee education. That is why his story is so inspiring. Michael didn't come to Nudgee expecting them to pave the way for him. Instead, he accepted the challenge and left an eternal legacy. This year, there will be times where quitting is tempting, or equally, where success seems impossible. However, it's in times like these that we discover the true depth of our resilience. It's in these times that we have an opportunity to redefine our own boundaries and find our true selves. Most significantly, it's in these times that we test the authenticity of the kindness within those who surround us. As Michael Peeney said, we all have our own perceived limitations, and sometimes all we need is for someone to see through those and believe in us. Often it's been the kindness within people that's been the strength I've relied on. At Investiture, I challenge my fellow seniors, and today I extend that same challenge to you. Who will you believe in this year? How will you give those who sit by your side today the strength to continue? When creating the motto for 2024, we wanted a motto that inspired us to strive for something much bigger than ourselves and represent our aims for this year. A motto that inspires us individually and collectively to be the best versions of ourselves. So it's with this in mind that I'm proud to announce our motto for 2024. Honor the story, create our legacy. It was crucial that our motto captured the very essence of this college, that is its history and its people. As Leo DeClara, the 2021 college captain, said, Nudgee is built on its people, and its people is its history. When we refer to the story, we refer to the shoulders of those who made Nudgee what it is today, the shoulders of those which we stand on. The culture in which we pride ourselves on at Nudgee, one of camaraderie and community, of mateship and brotherhood, of courage and bravery, of faith and spirit, wasn't built overnight. Rather, it's a culmination of the sacrifices of those who have come before us. The sacrifice of the generations of old boys that have walked this very same journey, grounded by the very same hope of becoming signum fidei. Throughout our 133-year history, Nudgee has physically changed immensely. Different uniforms, different buildings, different staff. However, no amount of time will ever change the values that form the foundation of the school. No amount of time will ever change the enduring legacies that continue to shape the character of those who walk through the gates of Nudgee. For as long as there are students who take pride in the blue and white, Nudgee will continue to produce men of integrity and authenticity. Ultimately, when we honour the story, we uphold the standards set by those before us. Equally, we aspire to embody the values on the Faith Star, those of justice, community, authenticity, excellence, courage, and faith that have and will continue to be a fundamental aspect of our story. They say that legacy is like planting the seeds of a tree in a garden you never get to see, and never knowing how many people that tree will eventually shade. With this in mind, I'm proud to present the symbol for 2024. The tree represents our collective legacy as a school, illustrating what we will leave for the generations to come. The hands in the symbol represent our individual efforts and experiences that shape our collective legacy, highlighting that we all have a role to play. Throughout the year, we will add values that we aspire to embody and strive to incorporate into the enduring legacy we leave behind. Ultimately, this year is a journey that us seniors don't want to walk alone. It is a journey that we invite you all to walk with us as our Nudgee brothers. This way, as one united school, we can honour the story and create our legacy together. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Oscar, and well done. Congratulations again. He's already done a mountain of speeches to this point, and he keeps improving every single time, so he sets a very high bar to follow. Prior to commencing, I'd like to echo Mr. Mara's sentiments and thanks to all the people involved, particularly our music ministry group over to my right. So thank you very much, and also to Archbishop Mark and Father Raff for celebrating that wonderful Mass. So I'd like to extend a very warm welcome, of course, to Most Reverend Archbishop Mark Coleridge, Father Raff Rosinski, our Reverend Christian brothers, members of the College Advisory Council, our invited guests who were extensively listed before, and most importantly, men of Nudgee College. Thankfully, you will note that our booklets and the accompanying visuals you have witnessed importantly state that this is St. Joseph's Nudgee College 2024 Commencement Mass. Whilst I understand the importance of the principal's commissioning, the occasion and attention does not sit comfortably with me. I look forward to the spotlight quickly shifting back to those who are the core business of this school, you men, our students. However, I sincerely thank the Nudgee community for allowing this commissioning to occur during this, the 134th Commencement Mass. I genuinely thank all those who have travelled and given up their time to be present. I'm truly grateful and honoured. I'd particularly like to thank my wonderful and loving wife, Janita, my 4 beautiful children, my mother and father, Pam and Sid, and my 4 siblings, Brooke, Clay, Luke, and particularly my older sister, Samantha, who is able to be present here today. My message today will be aimed mainly at the young men of Nudgee who are present, but there will be personal references intertwined, and for those moments I ask for your grace. Biographer B.H. Liddell Hart in 1929 wrote of his subject, "Among women and men who rise to leadership, 2 types are recognisable. Those who are born with a belief in themselves and those in whom it is a slow growth dependent on actual achievement. To the women and men of the last type, their own success is a constant surprise." I've articulated this many times since being appointed Nudgee College's 26th principal in October last year. I'm truly humbled, gracious, surprised, and deeply honoured. Having grown up in Brisbane during the 1980s, I know well the importance of Nudgee's place in Queensland history and as a world-renowned educational institution. Whilst not attending Nudgee, I grew up only 4 kilometres from here, and I too had the privilege of attending a school formed on the traditions of Blessed Edmund Rice. Never did I see myself as someone who would lead a school, let alone Nudgee College. I know my elder sister Samantha, who basically had to speak for me during my early years due to shyness, would not have seen me in a role such as this. I feel genuinely blessed to be in this position. Brother Ambrose Tracy, the visionary and driving force behind the establishment of Nudgee College in 1891, insisted to his fellow brothers when the doors opened that young men who attended this school would receive the gifts of faith, formation and opportunity. Our current mission statement aligns with such goals in that as a staff, we strive to provide an education that will liberate hearts and minds in the footsteps of Blessed Edmund Rice. The connection between our current mission and the challenge laid out by Brother Tracy to his fellow brothers could not be more clear. We are still in the business of producing fine young men who will make a positive impact on society, having been formed in the Catholic tradition. One of my esteemed predecessors, Brother Kevin O'Neill, who was the college's 16th principal from 1934 to 1939, and after whom our junior school is named, wrote this of the Nudgee boy at the time: "Love opens his ears and attunes his heart to the inspiration that flows from there." In our second reading today from St. Paul to the Hebrews, you heard the following: "Continue to love each other like brothers, and remember to always welcome strangers, for by doing this, some people have entertained angels without knowing it." Brother O'Neill also wrote in his 1934 annual report what he felt was important qualities that Nudgee men exhibited. "What we want to see introduced into the life of this nation, which will be reflected in this school, is not shrewdness in business, not mere capacity to make money or wield political or industrial power, but justice, truth, honesty, honour, courage, reverence, purity and self-respect. We want to see a greater appreciation of what is good." My immediate, highly respected and much loved predecessor, Mr. Peter Fulliger, issued a parting challenge to our boys in asking them to always be kind to one another. Mr. Fulliger was an exemplar in this field. These 3 giants of Nudgee's history, whose messages I have just shared, were all in perfect alignment to what we are called to be as members of this great school, Signum Fidei. Brother Tracy, Brother O'Neill and Mr. Fulliger, along with each staff member who has worked at Nudgee, has aimed to form each of the 10,000 brothers to be signs of faith. They have been helping each young man since 1891 to understand how to be Signum Fidei. Gentlemen, I ask that you take this call seriously. Being called, in essence, summoned to be a sign of faith to all is something that should shadow you the entirety of your life. Being a Signum Fidei does not cease when you take your uniform off at night, does not stop when you are on vacation, and most importantly, it does not end the day you depart the college gates for the last time as a student. In being called to live a certain way, it is vital to understand the significance of such an event and how this translates. Today's gospel reading from Luke highlights the moment Peter, John and James were called into Jesus' ministry to become apostles who would go forth and make disciples of all nations. They gave up all to be signs of faith to the world and spread the word of Christ. With Jesus as their leader and teacher, they transformed how they viewed the world and all who live within it. As Nudgee staff, we are called to continue this work by transforming the way our young men view the world and its inhabitants. At Nudgee, you are called in many different ways. First and foremost, you are called to honour and respect the traditions and history of this school, steeped in the actions and example of Blessed Edmund Rice and in line with the Catholic Church. You are called to be an exceptional learner who strives to be better each day in your academic endeavours. Finally, you are called to make the most of the opportunities presented to you as a student of Nudgee College, to be involved and to help make this place better, not worse, by your words and actions. In doing this, you are answering the call to be a sign of faith. We encounter signs of faith in many parts of our lives, sometimes without realising it. The following person's story I would like to share with you is not just a sign but a glowing beacon of faith to all she met. Each day she answered the call, and in doing so improved the lives of those around her. I first came across Carmen Botfield in February 2017. I had just commenced my tenure as principal of St Joseph's College, Benora Point, and was attending Wednesday Mass at the college with parishioners and 2 classes of students. The moment the service was complete, Carmen made her way directly to me and made her wonderful self known. From that point until her passing at the age of 91 on Christmas Day in 2022, I came to more deeply understand what it is to answer a calling in one's life. Carmen absolutely loved all who she encountered, particularly the school children of St James Primary School and St Joseph's College, Benora Point. She attended Mass daily, prayed often, and spoke to all she encountered about God's love. Even when ravaged with cancer in the days leading to her passing, she was at complete peace knowing that God would take care of her. Even without hearing Carmen speak, she was a true sign of faith. In 2018, some of you may recall that 12 boys aged 11 to 16 years became trapped in a Thai cave during an ill-fated end-of-year football trip. Very early on, it became apparent that the chances of rescuing the boys were extremely slim. Most view their eventual rescue and survival 18 days later as an amazing feat of science, courage, and the human spirit, but not Carmen. She prayed for those boys each day. Following her attendance at a Wednesday school mass, she approached a group of, you might find this surprising, but rowdy Year 8 boys and explained the importance of them praying for the safe return of the boys in Thailand who were about their age. These Year 8 boys assured Carmen that they would act on her request. The boys did and were proud to report back to Carmen following the rescue. Carmen firmly believed that their prayers led to a miracle being performed. She was happy to explain as much to all who she encountered. Carmen was a shining example of joy, compassion, and kindness. My previous school now recognises a Year 7 student annually with an award named in her honour who exhibits the qualities that define Carmen as a sign of faith. Gents, my challenge to you as we officially commence our 134th year of operation is to remember what you are called to be. You become a nudgy man the moment you put on that first piece of kit or the uniform for the first time. Your involvement in and commitment to the many activities offered, be they cultural, academic, spiritual, sporting, social, or service-orientated, is a way of acknowledging and making the most of the skills and talents that you possess. It is a way of answering your call and being a signum fidei. Your interactions with your fellow nudgy brothers, the caring and devoted staff who strive to provide an education that will liberate your hearts and minds, the many visitors to our college, your family, and the students from other schools whose paths you cross should see you being a sign of faith. Let those who come across you be the benefactor of your presence and your nature. Finally, gents, I'm genuinely honoured to be part of this community and to be your principal. The history, prestige, reputation, and achievements of Nudgee College are evident. What makes me more proud are the students, both present and past, staff, families, and wider community members with whom I am privileged to be involved. I am well aware of the proud traditions and that being principal of such a place comes with great responsibility. I am more honoured to be granted the privilege of helping to form fine young men in our care. As the 25 principals who have come before me have done, I will continue to prioritise the provision of faith, formation and opportunity that will see you all grow as young men who will be a true signum fidei and in turn see this great school continue to lead the way. Thank you.